Welcome back to Behind the Box. Time for our What We're Watching segment, and I'm not going to go first this time. Raphael's going to go first with The Killing.
First?
Yes, you're first.
Oh, man.
Are you prepared?
Well, slightly.
Okay.
Well, so I started watching The Killing on Netflix, and I was a little apprehensive at first, after the first episode, but then I just got hooked because the story just keeps going. Now, it's about a detective who really loves her job, and it's not one of those detective shows where there's like a dead person every episode. It's literally...
Monster of the Week or whatever.
Right.
It's
nothing
serialized.
Like it's serialized, like there's one murder they're trying to solve, and it involves a mix of different people, which includes a politician, a possible dirty cop, etc., and then the detective's young son. And so everything just ties together, and what I really like about it is just it just keeps getting deeper into everyone's lives. And at first I was like, when are they going to solve this thing? Is she just a bad detective, or is just the way it's kind of built? That's what just kind of just kept me going the whole thing. So I finished the first season. I'm about halfway through the second season. I'm still hooked. It's one of those binge watch kind of things. And Robbie, you've seen it, haven't you? What did you?
Yeah. That was actually my Netflix pick a couple weeks ago, wasn't it? At some point, I did The Killing, but...
Well, I think it deserved to be revisited, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, now you're watching it.
Well, and I'm glad
too.
you brought that up, because, I actually just finished, like, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, watching the entire, thing, including the exclusive 4th season they added to Netflix. And I will say that 6-episode season to kind of finalize the whole show was the best one out of the entire show itself. It was just unbelievable. And because it was on Netflix, there was a lot more violence, cussing. It got more R-rated in those last couple episodes, so they were able to kind of really take the new story to a different height. So, it's awesome, man. Keep watching, because it gets really, really good.
I really do like it. Like I said, the first part of it, I wasn't really sold yet, but then it just got further and further. And it really isn't like a single character that stands out through the whole thing besides the detective. I think she could be the main person, but everyone else has a developing
I kind of like Holder, too, though. I like Lyndon and Holder.
Joel Kinnaman?
Yeah, Joel Kinnaman.
I like him
I
a
think
lot,
he's
too.
good. He plays that part really well.
Because it's like you want to like him, but you don't know if you really should. It's like,
yeah.
It's kind of shady. That's why him being RoboCop was a little weird.
I like that movie. I did. That's one new movie I actually saw and I liked, was the new RoboCop movie.
They're showing RoboCop at the library.
At the library?
Yeah.
The old RoboCop or the new one?
I hope it's the new one, because the first one's kind of bloody.
Yeah, the first
that's right. Yeah, I forgot
Anyways.
about how violent. Yeah. Anyways, back on The Killing.
Back on The Killing. So yeah, it's definitely something pretty cool to binge watch one after another. And one small little note about binge watching: Netflix has the tendency to be able to skip through the intros of most television shows, because when you binge watch, you're going to watch one after another, but then you've got to sit through the introduction, little intro, whatever. And sometimes Netflix can jump right through it and actually automatically give you like a 15-second delay in between episodes, but then start the action right away, right after the
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
the beginning. So if you are binge watching, sometimes you'll get lucky enough to get past the intro, credit roll in the beginning.
I do like how they just start the next episode. They're like, hey, you're done with this episode? We're starting the next one in 15 seconds.
And they're doing the preview now, kind of like what the next episode's going to be about over on the right-hand corner of the screen, too.
You can read all the info coming up.
Because that didn't always, that just happened in the last couple months they started doing that.
Yeah.
It seems more like a network when they do that now, because you're getting a little bit of that squeeze with the tease action going on there. So,
Not by accident.
but keep watching it, man. It's a really good show, and I think everybody out there should watch it. And another one, I think, if you have HBO or HBO Go or one of those, is Treme. Excellent show, and I had never heard of it, really, because it's not a very highly popular or heavily acclaimed series. Have you ever heard of it before?
I have not. No.
How about you, Nick? Have you heard of it?
Yeah, my dad actually got into watching this a lot because it's about musicians. So there's a lot of music involved in it, and he he liked that a lot.
It's. I mean, musicians is part of the story because what it is it follows New Orleans post Katrina. So like when we come into the first season of the show, the pilot episode, it starts out. I think it's like 6 months after Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, and it kind of visits 2 or 3 of these people who are coming back for the first time, and a lot of people live in these different neighborhoods, and the name of the show comes from one of the neighborhoods in New Orleans. It's called the Treme, which is a huge musically influenced neighborhood where a lot of famous musicians grew up and played in the streets and stuff. So they kind of follow a couple of these characters, but music is a huge part of the show. And it's not, I'm not going to say it is a musical because it's not like they go walking through the streets singing numbers. But
no, you wish it was. Though,
no, I'd rather not. I like the way they do a lot of because a lot of the characters in the show are musicians. So it follows them like trying to get gigs, and then when they get a gig, instead of just showing you going to the gig, it gives you the whole band, and it's real people playing, the band's playing and everything, and most of them are really good, and it's entertaining to kind of just watch it, and it's got some people in it that you might recognize from other things. First off, John Goodman's in it, which, he played a great role in it, and Steve Zahn is in it. And you guys know who Steve Zahn is? Yeah, I mean, he does a really good job of playing like this kind of wild New Orleans disc jockey who wants to get into the music business, but doesn't really have quite what it takes, even though he keeps trying to be like the white boy that's rapping and all this.
It's a drama, right? Because you just named kind of 2 comedic actors.
Yeah, no, it's a drama. It's definitely a drama. I mean, but it's not to say it doesn't have some like lighthearted moments in it, but I think the first season is the most dramatic of them all because it's right after Katrina. So you kind of have that, everybody's coming back and seeing their property, seeing that they have nothing and trying to build their lives back together. And the musical scenes kind of interwove the transitions between the different storylines, And the big thing about it is, and you know me, I'm not really a patient person to like sit through like just not really much going on for a long time. I like action, but this was one that I turned it on. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool just because of the way they tell the story and blend the music in. It's an artsy show, nothing like, there's not a whole bunch of stuff that happens every episode. It's not like you get all these different things exploding in one episode, but
Dun dun.
Yeah, no, well, it's nowhere near 24. I mean, it's a whole different animal than 24. I'm not even going to compare it because they're just doing different things.
Or Halt and Catch Fire.
Or Halt and Catch Fire. Well, yeah, definitely no. All right, don't get me started on that because we don't have enough time for that. But anyways, I would recommend checking it out. It's definitely it ran for 4 seasons. It just ended on HBO in December 2013. And everything is on the demand thing if you have the HBO on demand. Or you can buy the DVDs and Blu-rays of it. So definitely a good show to watch.
Cool.
And, oh, God. Here.
God,
Now, these guys keep making their way into our show.
I love that graphics. Just back up. Just put it back up.
Copied paste from last week. So what's this, Nick?
Tell us about it.
Well, this was Robbie's Future Focus. Was it your Future Focus?
Yes. Was it the last show?
I
think it was the last show.
The unauthorized Saved by the Bell story.
Unauthorized.
So already aired.
Yeah, it was on Monday, like all night. It was just back to back to back.
Were there ratings results?
I don't know. I don't look at that kind of stuff.
I can chime in on that when you're done. So continue.
Yeah, check it out. So it came on the Lifetime network, which is not generally my network of choice unless I want to watch unsolved mysteries or something like that. But so I was a little worried that it would be a little too dramatic and try to push the romance a little too much. But it was actually not bad. But I mean, I'm also a huge fan of Saved by the Bell. Growing up, I watched it every morning. So I think that definitely gave me rose-colored glasses a bit.
When I wake up in the morning.
Wait, and the alarm gives off a warning.
Yeah, we were arguing. We were trying to figure out what that lyric was. Because you've always never been, when I wake up in the morning, la 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 la. And it's like, what did he say?
I don't think I'll ever make it on time. Yeah, but and the alarm gives off a warning.
And we looked that up while we were shooting our shows earlier in the week.
In front of the box.
In front of the box.
But so it is based on the book that Dustin Diamond wrote. So right in the beginning, Zach Morris does his timeout thing, and then Screech moves in. He's like, wait a minute, we've heard your side. This is my story. I was there, you know, this is what I remember. I was there from the first episode to the last. This is my story. And then it goes into him telling it, which I was never like, oh man, I wish Screech would tell the story. I never had that urge. So it was a little weird and a little focused too much on him. But it was cool to see some of the behind the scenes stuff, and it was well produced. Like, it was well shot. And
I heard were there a lot of songs in it? Was it a lot of music, or was it just like?
Yeah, I guess there was, but I mean, I'm not real.
They kept using Poison like in all the previews from Belle Biv DeVoe. So I was
yeah, they definitely used that, and they had these cool like graphics, like it'd be like 1992, and it was like all this kind of 90s style text, real big over like each year that they would go through. And they started with "Good Morning, Miss Bliss," and then went all the way through. And they ended actually before the college years. So they had their fake graduation thing, which was like just them in the classroom. And then Screech does his timeout and says, hey, we all went on to do other things. You know, she did Showgirls. He's Mark Paul Gosselaar is actually a successful actor now. And like, and I did my own thing. They like didn't really go into what Dustin Diamond did.
Of course not.
But I enjoyed it. It was definitely fan service. I don't think if you weren't a fan of the show, you're probably not going to go back and watch it. But
I want to, but I completely forgot that it was on, even though that was my future focus.
Actually, a lot of people forgot that it was on because, for what I hear, the ratings weren't really that good. At 1.6 million viewers for that 9 p.m. block for that whole movie, compared to Lindsay Lohan's Liz and Dick, which 3.6 million viewers.
Oh my God.
So comparatively, the ratings were really that great, but I think maybe they didn't advertise enough, or maybe they need to play it again, or
it'll come on this weekend,
or bring it on again, because.
And I will try to watch it again this time.
But the whole time they had promos running for the Brittany Murphy story, so if you're waiting on that one, that one's coming up pretty quick.
And I don't think any of us are waiting on that one right now. So
no.
But you guys stay with us because we got our Netflix picks coming up next.